So again, thank you so much for joining today. My name is Mark Baruth, and I am the Senior Dealer Strategy Director here at Adpearance, and we are discussing accelerating lead generation for your luxury dealerships. So there I am with much longer hair than I have right now. Thanks to everybody around me who convinced me to cut that hair. Appreciate you. But as you can see, I've been in this category for a little bit over a decade now. Started back in about 2011 and have been working with automotive partners and clients at the OEM and tier 2 and tier 3 level ever since. I've been published several hundred times in lots of publications. If you throw my name into the Google bot, you're going to see a lot of car reviews, a lot of industry insights. Welcome you to connect with me on LinkedIn. Happy to have those connections as well. And specifically in what we're talking about today with luxury, I have a lot of experience dealing in this particular category, in this particular segment. I've worked with some of the oldest and largest luxury dealerships in the country as clients and as a consultant, as well as I've reviewed several luxury vehicles for Road and Track magazine, Jalopnik as well. So I have quite a bit of experience in this particular segment of the category as well. So now that we've talked a little bit about me, I'd like to introduce you to Adpearance. If you are not familiar with us, let's learn a little bit about us and what we do here. So there's two things I think separate Adpearance from everybody else out there, and that is our client experience and our technology. We hire just the absolute best people and the brightest people that I've ever worked with in this category, and we train them with the newest thoughts, the newest ideas, and the newest technology in digital marketing. Our team, we like to call ourselves the nerd herd because we just love data that much. It is what we get up and drives us to be successful every day, is our passion for this business, our passion for the data as well. In fact, we spend over $250,000 a month in A/B testing to ensure that we are delivering the absolute best results for our clients. And not only that, we build in-house tracking technology to help level up our ad campaigns, and we are a Google Premier Partner, meaning that we are in the top 3% of all Google advertisers in the United States. So meaning that if Google comes out with a new technology, we typically are the participants in the beta tests for all of that, which means that we see it first and we test it first before rolling out to the rest of the market. As you can see, we have a 98% customer retention rate, and we are certified across several automotive programs, which we will talk about in a moment. One that I think is the biggest differentiators between us and other partners is that you do have a dedicated digital strategist when you work with Adpearance. There's no 1-800 number to call or a random email box. You have a dedicated strategist who's committed to the success of your account. So as you can see through our certified partnerships programs here, we are certified with several different OEMs, including luxury brands like Jaguar Land Rover, Lotus, and Maserati, as well as Acura, Honda, Kia, Mazda, Stellantis, Toyota, Volkswagen, and many more are coming on all the time. And what that means being a certified partner is that we handle your co-op submissions and your billing is all turnkey. So everything is hands off and we handle all of the nitty gritty work for you. All you have to do is focus on selling cars, which is what you do best. So quickly, as now that we've kind of talked a little bit about who I am and who Adpearance is, let's talk a little bit about what we will be doing today. The first thing we're going to talk about is how to tap into an increasingly competitive luxury market, enhancing your lead quality, capturing existing demand for luxury automotive clients, and then, of course, creating new demand, which is something I think we're all very interested in doing in these times. So let's talk first about tapping into that increasingly competitive luxury market. So there are challenges facing the luxury market, and I'm sure none of these are of any news to you. Those of you who are in this business, you face these things every day. And although some of these challenges apply to mainstream autos as well, they do impact luxury in a slightly different way. So we all know that interest rates are considerably higher nowadays. If you look at this chart here, you can see that in the last year or so, the average interest rates have risen over 3%. And that does mean that some entry to mid-level luxury buyers are being priced out of the market. Yes, even and perhaps especially luxury buyers are payment driven. And so when payments are higher due to higher interest rates, that does reduce the number of clients who can get into some of those entry-level luxury brand models. So with more and more shoppers choosing to transact as much of the car buying process as possible online, the traditional luxury car shopping experience doesn't exist in the same way that it used to. That luxury shopping experience that all of us work so hard to provide in our showrooms and in our sales floors and in our finance and insurance offices, now a lot of that needs to be translated to an online shopping experience, and that's a new challenge for us. And a lot of us are still figuring out how to best serve that customer when they want to transact as much as possible before ever setting foot in our dealership. Obviously, there are weaker lease programs from the captive finance companies. And in luxury in particular, as you all know, lease penetration rates are incredibly high, much more so than they would be in a mainstream brand. And so what that means is that sometimes you are having clients coming back in your door, returning their lease vehicles, only to find out that a similar vehicle would now cost hundreds of dollars more per month than what they were previously paying. Obviously, this creates challenges. And when we're looking at continuing inventory challenges, we know that particularly vehicles that are being manufactured overseas and being brought to the United States, that's still we're still seeing a great deal of inventory challenges there. Even some of the SUVs that are being manufactured by BMW and Mercedes here in the United States, we're still seeing some inventory shortages there as well. Not only this, we are seeing new competitors entering the market, right? So not only Tesla, which we're all getting used to, but we're starting to see emerging players such as Lucid and Rivian, who are really changing the way that customers want to shop for and experience luxury vehicles. And then finally, as traditional automakers are beginning to explore that EV space and navigate the changing landscape, they too are figuring out how to communicate with shoppers about the features and functionalities of electric vehicles and measuring the demand for that, which is a little bit softer than maybe people anticipated. So all of these challenges specific to the luxury market that Adpearance is aware of, that we are helping our partners navigate through on a daily basis. So let's talk about enhancing lead quality in this space in particular. If you want to get better results from your advertising efforts, you do need to determine whether or not you're getting enough high quality, low funnel sales leads. Not all leads are created equal, right? Recorded leads are run through qualification analysis on our end to disqualify spam, but too often leads and conversions are considered interchangeable. As we know, sales leads and conversions are not the same thing. So quite often, we're talking about including phone calls and form submissions and chats as lead actions, not necessarily something like a VDP view or pages per session or time on goals. A lot of those are what we would call in this business a vanity metric. It's all fine and good to measure, but does it really drive sales activity? And I think the answer for a lot of us would be no. So as we're looking through these leads, understand that they're not all created equal. We do leverage our sister company, 4eyes, to help disqualify spam and separate sales and service leads. On average, 1 out of every 5 website lead actions is sales related. Much of that does go to service. So by partnering with 4eyes, we're able to determine what is actually a sales lead action and what is actually a service lead action. And that is a huge differentiator for us here at Adpearance as well. So when we're talking about driving more high quality leads, not just quality, but also quantity, a focus on generating those quality sales prospects through strategy and automation helps enable dealers to increase their lead quantity and quality. And if you look at doing this in the most effective way, we all know that there are lead providers in this marketplace, and I won't name names, but we all know who they are, who can provide you with nearly endless amounts of leads. And the quality of those leads is going to be questionable at best. In this category, we understand that your BDC and your sales teams, they don't have unlimited resources. So by wasting time on unqualified buyers, especially in the luxury space, you have a big, beautiful car on your lot with 600 plus horsepower and every bell and whistle on it, that unfortunately attracts a lot of people looking at your vehicles who aren't necessarily qualified to purchase your vehicles. And this is a widespread problem in the luxury category. So by improving the quality of your leads through our strategy and our automation, your closing percentages are naturally going to increase. But not only you're going to increase your closing percentage, you're also going to increase your lead volume. And I think that's a really critical thing to point out here as well. When we talk about capturing existing demand, micro moments still matter to luxury dealers. And if you are talking about dealerships with a smaller audience and a lower search volume, micro moment strategies still make a lot of sense. And that's where luxury dealers tend to fall. Even some of your best luxury brands, whether that's a BMW or a Mercedes, you're still only capturing about 3% of the sales volume in the United States of America when you're talking about new car sales. So even though you might be doing gangbusters business at your location, as I'm sure you all are, that's still, in comparison to your Toyotas and your Kias and your Hyundais and your Fords and General Motors, is still a much smaller market segment. So that's why the micro moments strategy does still definitely apply in this category. If you're working with a partner who's telling you that micro moments are not necessarily relevant to luxury, I would encourage you to have that conversation. And we're happy to have that conversation with you as well on our end. So if we start at the top of the funnel, you're looking at shopping micro moments, and this is where customers are looking for things like make and model or model and review, right? So they might be looking for, 2023 Land Rover Defender or a Land Rover Defender review in this case, and they want to figure out what's in the market and what they want to buy. But as they move down that funnel, their keywords change, and it becomes make, model, and price, or Jaguar Land Rover dealership near me. And then we infer from those keywords where they happen to be in the purchasing funnel. And Google and Adpearance, we both strongly encourage you to spend much of your money in these ready-to-buy moments. Most of the ready-to-buy keywords reside in the dealership campaigns, while the model campaigns contain a lot of the shopping keywords. When we are consulting with partners on a daily basis, quite frequently we hear that partners would like to focus on some of the model campaigns specifically, but we do find that those customers tend to be higher funnel. Model campaigns are often what dealers do want to execute, of course, because they tend to think that those customers are narrowing their shopping, but that's not how customers typically shop. We actually find that as they get closer to shopping, they actually start to widen their search when it comes to make and models. So historically, by focusing on those keywords, you are not getting customers who are really low funnel. So what we want to do by leveraging these micro moments is decreasing your conversion costs and getting the most from your advertising spend by targeting the shoppers who are likely to buy. And by doing that, we see 13% lower cost per conversion, 15% more conversions, and a 17% in click-through rates. So by combining this micro moment strategy with our machine learning, we're able to get some really fantastic results for all of our partners in the luxury category. So when we talk about paid search in particular, this is why it's so important, is because paid search shows on a search results engine page, a search engine results page, when a user is searching for something. So we know just by the nature of the fact that they are executing a search that they are getting themselves into the market. So the basics of this strategy are going to include targeting and more keywords and location, ad copy, relevant landing pages, and budget. And our goal is to provide a compelling and relevant ad that is based on the user search term to ensure that your ad is the one that is clicked on. So why would you look at doing this? Because it is going to be by far your biggest lead driver. It's going to be the lowest funnel because customers are actively searching for something versus having something pushed to them. And that users that are searching typically have some level of intent. We want to be present when the users are searching and providing answers to their potential questions. So that's why using paid search as your foundation for luxury auto is key to getting great results. So how do you do this? Well, you tell your story with micro moments. Luxury auto shoppers are not the average car shopper. And in fact, if you are working with a partner currently who is treating your luxury brand the same way they're treating mainstream brands when it comes to bidding, you're definitely missing out. Because we know this, we also know there's a lower volume of searches for model names on dealerships when it comes to luxury. So we want to help you by bidding on those higher funnel keywords and serving ads that speak to the superior quality and experience that in-market users can expect from your dealership. This is critical in getting that message about why they want to shop with you versus your competitors out in front of them. This is where you're going to be able to capture the attention of those clients who are looking for the unique experience that you provide. We also want to help you with pulling in more luxury shoppers. When you were talking about geo-targeting for mainstream brands versus luxury brands is wildly different. As a luxury dealership, you have a larger area of responsibility than a mainstream dealer would geographically. It is not uncommon, as I'm sure you all know, for a luxury brand shopper to travel hundreds of miles or even hop on a plane to find the right car with the specific colors, features, functionalities, and packages that they want. Leveraging the demand for your competition is increasingly important because especially if you are working with a brand that may have a lesser mainstream recognition. For example, a Porsche 911 shopper probably thinks they're just looking for 911s because they haven't necessarily been exposed to something like a Lotus Emira, which is a great vehicle in that same category, but has a much lower brand awareness. So by running conquest advertising on your competition's OEM branded keywords in an effort to drive additional demand, you're going to expose your inventory to clients who might be looking for your competitors' inventory. And this is a key strategy that we highly recommend executing in the luxury space. One of the most important changes that has happened in the Google automotive shopping landscape in the last year or two has been vehicle ads. And we highly recommend that vehicle ads are added to your search engine result page strategy immediately. This is a valuable complement to paid search. So people who are searching for vehicles used to have to go to third-party sites in order to see something like this. In order to see lots of vehicles in the same place, they would have to go to one of those third-party sites, and that some of you may still be using today. But this is now directly available on paid search. And third-party sites, such as an AutoTrader or a Cars.com or a Car Gurus, they are now advertising in this exact space on Google as well. So we always talk about why is it that you would want your clients to, when they see your vehicles in this highly valuable, highly competitive space, to be directed to somebody else's website? Wouldn't it be better if they could click onto these vehicles and go directly to your website, directly to your vehicle detail page, rather than being directed to an online marketplace? As somebody who worked for some of those partners for a long time, I can tell you that the strategy of a third-party website, a third-party marketplace, is not necessarily to drive traffic to your website, but is to keep customers on their website. And some of the site metrics they measure specifically have to do with how much time people are spending on AutoTrader, how many page views that they have there. We would much rather see those partners or those customers, driven directly to your website. So rather than seeing all of yours and as well as all of your competitors, and now you've entered into what we would call an online bidding war for your inventory. So what we can do with vehicle ads specifically is we can get you 78% more clicks, 37% more conversions, and a 71% lower cost per conversion. And if you are not currently executing vehicle ads, we would love to talk to you about how we can add this key strategy and this key tactic to your current campaigns. It is worth its weight in gold, without question. When it comes to creating new demand for luxury automotive, let's talk about this in particular as well. So when we talk about strategies for creating demand, we want to talk about increasing your brand awareness. Awareness is a critical component of the automotive shopping experience. When people are buying a luxury automotive product, you know that they're probably buying one of the most expensive things they will ever buy in their entire life, above and beyond their house. Maybe some of your clients have boats. That's great. But we know that the car is up there in that top 2 or 3. We also know that people are really hesitant to buy from companies that they've never heard of before. Awareness is a key component to this. And awareness used to be handled a lot through traditional media, whether that was television, radio, even the back page of your local newspaper. But that has changed significantly in the past 5 to 10 years to where awareness is now happening online. And so you want to be seen at all stages of the buying process. So whether they're conducting a search on Google, YouTube, social media, your brand needs to be there. And building that brand awareness empowers those market users to know their best option, which is your dealership. We also want to look at giving users who are already exposed to your brand more reason to convert. And the way that we do this is through remarketing and targeting those clients, retargeting. Bringing interested shoppers back to your website is absolutely critical. So if we target remarketing audiences with ads that speak to owning a luxury vehicle and the car buying experience at your dealership, we know how difficult it is to get to somebody to one of your websites. If they visit there, if they see your inventory, but for some reason they're not done shopping yet and they're still looking around, we want to give them every reason and every opportunity to return back to your website through remarketing and retargeting audiences. Finally, we talk about conquesting shoppers. Conquest campaigns are a great way to capture those low funnel leads. As we talked a little bit about earlier, a large number of shoppers switch their desired vehicle very close to the purchase event. They might be looking at something like a Maserati Levante here the entire time. But if we don't focus on retaining that customer, they might switch off it at the very end, or we might want to pull them off of the vehicle they're looking at and onto ours. That's why Conquest Advertising and defending our own turf as well are really great ways to create demand for our vehicles. So leaning into automation with our performance max campaigns is incredibly important right now as well. If you have not currently, and you are not currently executing performance max campaigns, and maybe you're not exactly sure what they are, let me tell you a little bit about this. So what Google is doing with Performance Max is leveraging Google automation, and it really works across every single campaign type that you can run across Google. What Google will then do is find the right campaign type for you and the right advertising assets to serve on those Google products based on the campaign goal and the buyer's intent. So that could be in search, that could be in display, that could be in Discover, that could be a Gmail, that could be YouTube. And really what this allows you to do is take your budget and have it used in the most effective way possible via the Google algorithm. And we are seeing fantastic results for our luxury brand clients in particular when it comes to using Performance Max. And we run it typically alongside manual bidding and to target net new customers that indicate that they are ready to purchase, even if we're not actively targeting that customer. So what Google will do in this case is they will look across a shopper's behavior. For example, somebody might be looking at a review of a Jaguar, and then they go and they watch a video on YouTube of somebody doing a review of that Jaguar, and then they have other buying signals that are based on those searches as well. So then Google targets that particular individual across their platforms with advertising. An incredibly effective way, the most bang for your buck you can get when it comes to advertising on the Google platform. Very tactical, very strategic as well. So what I would say is, if you are ready to learn more about this, I'm going to leave this QR code up here for a moment. If you scan this QR code with your device, this will help you get in contact with our team. And we'll be happy to research your digital presence and your local market. And we'll provide that in-depth look into your strategy, where it currently stands, as well as a customized plan of attack to help you really identify those top areas of opportunity and attack those with the best possible strategy and tactics that you have. So if you have a moment, I encourage you to grab your phone, scan that QR code, and that will help you get in touch with one of our specialists who will book a meeting with you in order to evaluate your own individual dealership. So I would love to know what questions and concerns we might have here. So I've gotten a couple of questions in here throughout the course of our discussion. So I've got a couple minutes. I'm going to go ahead and discuss some of these with you. So the first question is, why should I be advertising at all? And this is a really great question, actually. I think a lot of luxury brands, specifically, dealers who have a long history in their marketplace, and they feel like everybody knows them in their area, and they've got a great reputation across the country. We know who our clients are, right? Especially if you are a luxury brand. The marketplace has changed, and the same customers who had loyalty to your dealership just a few years ago, may have bought 3-4 luxury vehicles from you over the last 15 to 20 years. Unfortunately, that luxury brand loyalty just doesn't exist anymore. And we're seeing customers not just loyal to their brand anymore or their dealership anymore. With so many new players in the market, so many new vehicles, so many different trim levels, the customer range and options in luxury is bigger than it ever was before. In fact, you'd be surprised to know that there are significantly more vehicles available and trim levels available over $100,000 in the United States now than there are under $30,000. There's more choice for a luxury brand shopper than there's ever been before. So your opportunity to capture new audience, to convert and conquest your competition is bigger than it's ever been. More options than ever. You need to be in front of people, not only to conquest and bring new people to your dealership, but also to retain the people who have shopped with you before. Keeping that awareness in front of your existing clientele is critical, as well as conquesting new business. So great question. But yes, even luxury brand dealers need to be advertising with a great deal of effort and focus here in 2023 going into 2024. Question about how do you go about determining budget and how much should I be investing? So very similar questions, great questions. We will work with you. Our strategists will work with you, look at your inventory levels, look at your market and your competitors. They will look at every possible factor when it comes to what your budget should be. And we will present you with several options as far as what kind of a good, better, best solution, and looking at what works best for your particular dealership in your particular market with the inventory levels you have, with the aggressiveness that you would like to display, as well as the competition in your market. So yes, that is something that we will do at a customized basis for each and every one of you on this call, as well as any of our other Adpearance partners. So there's a great question. Thank you for that. Last question that's come in here so far. What specifically makes luxury advertising different from mainstream advertising? Another fantastic question. So I'm sure that a lot of you on this call, you probably are overseeing multiple dealerships. You're overseeing luxury brands as well as mainstream brands. They are different, and the strategies and tactics that we use are different. Specifically, we know that luxury brands and luxury automotive requires a more focused effort because you're going to have fewer opportunities. There simply just are not as many people looking for a Mercedes S-Class as there are people looking for a Toyota Corolla. As a result, you're going to need to be much more focused, much more targeted, and you frankly just cannot afford to lose an opportunity. If you're selling Corollas, you've got probably 100 opportunities. If you miss 10 of them, that's okay. You have 90 more. If you're selling a $150,000 vehicle, $120,000 vehicle, you just have a much smaller base of customers to deal with. And if you miss one, it's much more painful. So what we want to make sure we're doing is getting that very targeted approach for you, casting a very wide net to make sure that we have a wide geography, that we are bringing in everybody who's willing and able to transport themselves to your dealership to look at vehicles. And we want to get your inventory in front of as many people as possible who are qualified to buy it. And I think that's another key focus here, is eliminating the time wasters, eliminating the people who may not be in the financial category to purchase your vehicles. We want to be strategic and target those individuals and bring them to your dealership. So that's all the questions I've received so far, and we are just about out of time. So what I would love to do right now here is just bring this information back up to the screen for you. My name is Mark Baruth again, mark.baruth@adpearance.com. Please feel free to contact me directly. Also, you've got your QR code there to book a market assessment with our business development team, who would be happy to meet with you and our strategists. And then we've also got some helpful resources here. We have an Adpearance blog, and we have all that is available to you through that QR code. So you can take a shot of that and go. Of course, you can go to our website as well, adpearance.com, and book a digital marketing analysis. But I want to thank everybody for attending today. It's been a great audience. Thank you for your questions. Please feel free to connect with me via email, via LinkedIn. Happy to speak with you. And thanks so much for attending. And we hope that we'll be talking to you about your dealerships really soon. So have a great day and take care.